What's going on, guys? Jeff in here. Myoko on the screen. And Makawa is my commander for Myoko. Numbers with Makawa on Myoko. 15.6 on the firing range. Not the best. But you're going to see here coming up. With my maneuverability, 4.7 rudder, 37.9 in the water, 9.8 detectability. So you get... So you get obviously looking at armor here. Citadel is pretty big on this ship. Don't flash your broadside because you will be punished. One issue with this Myoko is that because of the armor thickness and the way the armor is laid out, you can actually be seriously punished. Like, you're not going to be getting the benefits of some other ships where you get like overpens. This isn't like a Cleveland or Helen or something like that where if you go broadside, it's forgiving. In this ship, if you go broadside, you're going to be absolutely punished for it. So my strategy for how I like to play this ship is I like to play it as obviously using the 9.8 kilometer detectability to get where I want to get to. Then position myself where I'm in a relative kiting position or preparing to go behind an island or something. Open fire with the guns, drop spot, or be in a defensive position and continue to engage using the Ingenious perk to determine how many people are targeting me. If I start to become focused, I just stop shooting the guns. This ship is to me very challenging, and the reason why is because, again, the trade-offs that you're having to make for do you want the concealment, do you want the extra firing range, do you want the protection, the rudder shift, the defensibility, if you will, of a Makawa build, or do you want more of the raw damage dealing of a Yamamoto? And these are all things that you're going to have to determine on your own. And then obviously if you have some of the off-ball commanders, you could go with those as well. So here's a perfect example. Laga shows up there. I open up on him. Again, we're just throwing torpedoes in the water. We really don't, we're not expecting them to hit, but by them just sitting in the tubes, right, on the back of the ship, they're doing nothing for us. So obviously Laga is targeting us. He starts to shoot at us. We go dark. We return fire. We get a rudder knockout, incapacitation, and a couple thousand in damage. And then this is exactly what I'm talking about. So now we go dark, right? Laga knows where we are, okay? And obviously with our friendly destroyer putting the smoke screen out, that basically hides the Laga Legionnaire from us. Now what I'm doing here is I'm letting the destroyer cap. I'm staying out of the cap, and I'm supporting him by trying to prevent people from pushing in. Notice where the cap is at this point, okay? We almost had it captured, and then it stopped, which means to me, even though I'm not in that cap, I know that because that capture stopped, the Laga Legionnaire pushed in to the cap to contest it, which is a good play by him. So New Mexico pops up. I'm going to take a shot at him. Okay, I'm still concealed by the smoke. Laga pops up. Okay, so now I see him. I want to do everything I can to support our friendly destroyer here because obviously he's going to be fired upon, and he is. So Laga is going to start to turn out. We switch to the AP. I'm telling the Akatsuki to get back. We hit that Laga for a double fire and a 3,900 damage. So this Laga Legionnaire obviously is doing what he's supposed to do. He's trying to push in. He's contesting the cap. He's trying to get rid of our friendly destroyer. Again, I want this Akatsuki to get back, but obviously his engines are knocked out, and I don't think he has the unstoppable perk. So we send that other salvo out. That last salvo, we end up sinking him, saving the Akatsuki. So now we have this New Mexico that I think still has eyes on the Akatsuki because of where, I don't know how close he was to being when he shot at him, or maybe the New Mexico shot at the Akatsuki before Laga went down. Whatever the case, there was an extra salvo that went in. Unfortunately, it didn't end up taking him out. So at this point, we're going to play this game where we're going to use the island as much as we can to protect ourselves while we take shots. People get upset with this style of gameplay. I understand it. I like to play battleships as well, but you have to, in the same sense, understand that, even though you may say this as like a cowardly play, that cruiser has zero chance if he goes toe-to-toe with you. If he goes out in the open at 9 kilometers and wants to duke it out with you, of course you're going to win. You better win. I'll say that as a battleship player. I mean, you better beat him, a cruiser at that. So let alone Myoko, which is even more easily damaged and punished. So there's some benefits to this play, but at the same time you also have to be willing to do what your job is as a cruiser. Just because you have a fragile ship doesn't mean that you can't play a style that contributes to your team. So there's that fine balancing line there, and that's something that people struggle with. And I'm an advocate for protecting yourself as a cruiser, because the longer you are alive in a game, the more valuable you are toward the back half of those games. And what I mean by that is early on, when battleships have full health, when the lines are kind of drawn, you're less effective. But as the game goes on and these battleships get a little more worn down, these cruisers are a little more worn down, and the game's kind of drawn and the battle lines are there, and the longer the game goes, you have the speed to get to where you need to get to influence and switch caps. You have the firepower necessary to finish off low health battleships, to severely weaken battleships, to stop their counter pushes, all those things. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I had the salvo on him. I got the fire. Okay, he's targeting me. I know his chambers are basically loaded. I stopped shooting at him. He's not focusing me anymore, right? So now I'm contemplating taking another shot. And as soon as he starts to turn out here, I think I do put another salvo on him, right? But as I go behind the island here, again, I'm going to put a salvo. I'm going to drop spot. I'm not going to sit here and give myself as a punching bag for this New Mexico. Okay, that's not a good play. That's not a smart play. Okay, my job is and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay alive. I'm trying to influence the game, and I'm trying to, win. I'm not sitting here trying to be tough guy on the block and fight it out in an open fight with a battleship. So again, you see there, we're in a situation where we're going to be going dark, right? And as soon as that battleship starts to disappear, I know he won't be able to see me as well. And so I send a salvo out. We get 3 pens, another 3,000 damage. So New Mexico puts the fire out, so I know that now. I'm going to go toward the C cap because I want to get this cap. We need a cap, okay? At this point, we are down 2 caps and none, and we're down by 100 and something odd points. So, and that lead is going to continue to grow, being down 2 caps and none. Regardless of ship count, right? They have, 4, and we have 5, but yet we're still down by almost 200 points now. That is a direct result, okay, of not taking your caps. All right. So if you don't take your caps, then you're going to be putting yourself and your team in these bad situations. So with that being the case, I'm going to push into this cap. I got 9.8 detectability concealment, which I'm hoping is enough to put myself in a position to basically help take this cap before New Mexico and other ships can't get close enough to spot me. So I'm going to slow down here. I'm not going to shoot at this New Mexico. And the reason why is because if I shoot at him, he can see me. If he can see me, he can shoot at me. And if he can shoot at me, he can reset my capture progress. Okay? So this here is a prime example of swallowing your shot, right? Or not, biting the bullet on that extra damage, right? Not taking that shot for that short-sighted damage in the exchange for realizing that by me not shooting here right away, me waiting a little bit, I'm going to be able to capture this base. Now, obviously there, I get spotted by an aircraft, okay? I got spotted, I kicked it into forward, I sent the salvo out because there's no reason to hold the shot at that point, okay? We get a fire, we get some damage, up to 52,000, okay? So basically here, that aircraft carrier was not going for us, but because we were relatively close to that battleship, we were proxy spotted. Warspite shows up there. We know that we're being targeted by one ship, and we're okay, or that we're being targeted by one enemy. We're now visually spotted because we shot. We're still being targeted by one. Okay, salvo out on the Warspite. We get a fire. Okay, so up to 58,000 damage. And we're constantly watching and we're constantly looking at who's targeting us. I'm not too terribly concerned about the torpedo. We take a couple thousand damage there. Obviously, it's not great to be taking damage from aircraft carriers. They're a bit of a pain. Again, so I go dark. So I'm going to wait for him to shoot at that point. And I also see that Warspite's pushing around this corner. but he's throwing the brakes on, so I know that that's not going to, obviously be on that trajectory. So at that point, then, I'm kind of waiting, and I'm kind of seeing what Warspite's going to do. It looks like he might be speeding up, so we're going to throw the salvo out there a little bit on the lead because I think he might speed up, and then the one that's closer to the middle without hitting the island. I don't want to give him the knowledge if he sees a giant splash on the island, right, that, hey, torpedoes are inbound. So I sent those out just to make sure that they clear the island, and, obviously with that, we're just sending torpedoes out. You miss 100% of the torpedoes, salvos you don't take. So why not empty the chambers and get them out there in the water? What's the worst that happens? You miss. Best case scenario, you knock that ship out. Okay, take another shot here at the New Mexico. We get him for a couple thousand. He's basically one shot and he's down to nothing. We send another salvo out. We already know that if he doesn't get sunk before, that's going to sink him. Okay, and there he goes. Okay, so now we know that he's down. Okay, we're pushing toward the B cap. We're now in the B cap. We know that Warspite pushed outside of the B cap. Why do we know this? Because if you look at the ticker at the bottom, capturing the area, it's ticking up. Okay, if he was in there, it would be stopped at a basically contested cap. All right. So Warspite obviously went down there at some point. So disregard what I was saying, but in general, kind of making a point on that. So let's say hypothetically Warspite was alive, right, and he didn't get sunk. If he was in that cap and I sailed in, it would just show that the cap was contested. But obviously, with me capturing that, then he would have sailed out. Now, I know this situation specifically, he was dead, so it doesn't necessarily matter in this specific instance. But that's just a general tip, observation, etc. Okay, so we're going to get this second cap here, and that's big because even though we could say, just go chase him down, right? Him being the aircraft carrier. The aircraft carriers have great concealment. If he does a good job of dodging and weaving and kind of picking his spot, he might be able to elude us enough for a long enough time to where having those caps would the 2 cap to 1 advantage would hurt us. Now, a great job there by our friendly ship. Battleship is that? Maybe that's a Baron or something. But he gets onto the A cap, okay? So now basically what we're guaranteeing ourselves is the win, okay? Even though he's up 120 points at this point, that's going to disappear very quickly, right? So my point being is that if we were to go chase down this Ranger without getting on these caps, we would lose. I believe we would lose because I believe he'd have enough ability to run and kind of dodge as opposed, be able to run faster than we could chase him down, okay? But because I got on the B cap and captured the B cap, and that friendly Baron got on the A cap and is capturing the A cap, we're going to stop their accrual of points. Okay, and you're going to see just how fast this gap closes. Okay, it was 120 points. What was it? Almost 30 seconds ago, less than that. We're already down to approximately 70 points and closing. Okay, so by like the 140 mark, 130 mark, that lead that they have is going to be completely gone. Okay. And it's going to be, it's just going to emphasize the importance of caps in this game, okay? So we're at 157. We're already down to about 30 points, okay? I mean, this is, just if you need a raw number or a quantifiable reason that caps are important, just look at the ticker over this course of less than a minute, okay? We've closed the gap. We've taken the lead, all right? We haven't sunk anything in that time span. Okay, this is purely just cap numbers, right? So obviously Ranger is going to be going down here. This is just getting some last second damage, some death, killing salvos out. We're up to 82,000 damage. This wasn't necessarily a great high damage game, but I just wanted to highlight how you can play Myoko and how you can play these cruisers to stay alive but yet help your team. If you like the video, leave it a like, guys. We will see you guys out on the high seas. Take care.